Good morning. It is Thursday, December 4th. This is the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly. This is Kyle Mountsier. Today we're talking about dealer confidence dipping, Mazda leveling up, and shoppers trusting one another. Shoppers, they trust one another. I mean, that's how reviews are based, right?
It's so wild. We're like, we don't trust anyone unless it's a review.
Unless it's a total stranger on the internet.
Total stranger on the internet. That's it. That's it.
Same principle of Uber. Right?
Okay, like, that's fair.
Let's get honey.
I don't know. I've trusted a couple, like
get a car with a total stranger and have them drive you somewhere.
Uber X and Lyft low level it's a little,
boy. You and I have some stories.
There's question marks there,
from missing flights to almost dying several times to smelling like a certain type of plant when we get out of the car.
Plant-based, plant-based driving.
Plant-based Uber ride. Yeah, had one of those.
That's the best.
Oh,
well, make a new version called plant-based.
There's two things going on. Tomorrow morning, we have Ed Roberts of Bozard Ford Lincoln on the show. Big position change for him. And we're going to have him on the show to share tomorrow night. We have a little photo to share of the White House. We're going to throw that up in a second. But first, we want to make sure you're checking out all the new content we're putting out from our interviews at LA Automobility, at the LA Auto Show. They're nowhere else. You can't actually get these people talking about these topics anywhere but these interviews. We are able to snag them at the LA Auto Show. So you can search Auto Collabs. We just released, our friends at Kirby helped us sponsor this the programming. Joe Castellino, if you don't know him, you should know him because he's a G.
Know him.
Yes. Ephraim Barcelo and Cody Collins. So we're talking about mobile service. Two amazing dealers, one amazing Ford rep, and you can get that. Go to autocollabs.com. We also have a webinar we talked about last few days with our friends at Uber for Business. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, but you can go to asodu.com and get that. Let's throw this picture up. We need to talk about this picture.
Oh,
all right. Here's the picture from yesterday in the White House when the president signed in the new legislation that, we've talked about. We'll talk about more, but we just thought it was ironic that three of the people surrounding the president are people that we're kind of friends with and that we've talked to in the last day. We have Tom Castriota, chairman of NADA, standing right at the president's left.
Right
behind him, Senator Bernie Moreno. Also behind him, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who we just met and had a fantastic time with.
Fantastic conversation.
Just a couple days ago. So we just thought it was fun to put this picture up. We caught it on LinkedIn. We're like, you know what? Automotive is kind of at the center of the conversation, and it's fun to be friends with the folks.
It's so much fun to be.
We're legit. You know what else was super encouraging? I've been talking a lot, but super encouraging.
Okay.
Debbie Dingell, Democrat representative. Bernie Moreno, Republican senator. They are both pushing the same sled forward. And if you don't think automotive is an industry that brings the country together, you're just wrong. Watch the interviews. We'll release them soon. Isn't that great?
It's so good. Like the people that seemingly on the different sides of the sled. Like, here we go.
Yeah, all working together. So that's pretty awesome. We have some news today. And then we have a lot to do today. There's a lot to do today.
News. I like it.
Okay, dealer confidence slid hard to close out 2025 as rising costs, shaking consumer confidence, and slowing demand pushed the Cox Automotive Dealer Sentiment Index well below the positive threshold. Current market sentiment fell to 38, down from 43 in Q3, with franchise dealers holding slightly stronger at 47. They're always a little higher, and independent dealers lower at 35. Future outlook declined from 46 to 42. Basically, customer traffic hit record lows, especially for franchise dealers, with both in-person and digital traffic declining, profit pressure continuing, sentiment dropping to 36 overall, with independents feeling the tightest squeeze, as they always do. EV outlook deteriorating sharply. We've been talking about this nonstop. Franchise dealers, EV outlook, 24%. Here's a quote from Mark Strand, Deputy Chief Economist at Cox Automotive. He said, quote, "Compared to the rest of the year, the current market feels like it's running out of gas."
Whoa, that's kind of wild. Compared to the rest of the year's the current market.
Rest of the year's been jamming.
I mean, first half of the year was jamming, and it's so funny because I think over the last 3 days, I've seen the most posts about like, yo, November ripped than I have in 4 or 5 months. So it is kind of interesting to get the Q3 results and know that there was some sentiment down, there was some traffic down, especially at the end of Q3. When you think about September waning on so much of the EV stuff, that conversation was definitely going to happen. I'm interested to see what happens in Q4. The few people that I've talked to already kicking off December 1, it seems like an aggressive month. But the fact that I'm seeing a lot of digital traffic declining across all of GA4 accounts that I have access to across multiple companies shows that shopper demand has definitely changed, and that could be aligned with EVs. But this is the problem for me when we take sentiment reports and start to like believe them that everyone feels. That's when your store, that's when your company, that's when everybody starts to trend toward a perceived norm.
Negativity. Yeah.
You can trend against this so quickly.
All right. First thing that came to mind, because you and I get to talk to dealers nonstop, day in, day out. The dealers we talk about are reflecting what you said you're seeing on social media. People talking about things ripping. Dealers saying these are best quarter ever, having a great month. The store is doing great. Go fill in the blank. Could it be that the dealers who are listening, watching, participating in content, who are on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, participating in the conversation, are the ones that are just doing better because they're the ones just going with the change, rolling with the punches, as they say? Could it be that? I have a feeling that's
could it be
strong.
The ones that are paying attention are the ones that are staying
doing better, not the ones just filling out the consumer sentiment and like alone in their office. So look, if you know those people, or you know someone, send them over here. Have them sign up for the daily email autosoda.com. Turn them on to the show, because the more people that are talking this way, actually, it's better for the industry. There's no study that we can do that does that. I mean, we probably could. We're not going to, right? Like along with the sentiment index. Can you imagine if they put it? We should talk to our friends at Cox, because putting something in there about do you consume, right?
Regular media across XYZ
regular media,
sources.
Modern media, right? I think there's some correlation. We should talk to our friends there. That'd be an interesting one, and they got the power to pull it off.
Yeah.
Just saying. Speaking of the power to pull it off.
That's right.
Segue.
I love talking about Mazda because of your pedigree. So you always have a lot to think about.
I love that you call it my pedigree. I'm so happy about that.
Pedigree. In a recent interview with Automotive News, Mazda CEO Masahiro Moro breaks down how the brand quietly climbed up market, growing dealer throughput, elevating brand value, and pushing their margins higher, even with the tariffs and the profitability challenges. U.S. market share climbed from 1.7 to 2.6 since 2017. The ATPs jumping from 24,000 to 34,000, and dealer throughput nearly doubling at retail Evolution stores. Basically, tariff pressures giving a temporary loss, but they're saying they're going to return to profitability in the back half of the year as the CX-30 production is adjusting and large vehicle margins are still holding. Their strategy still centered on low inventory, high mix, and prepping for a big lift from the all-new 2026 CX-5, which is dope. Morrow calls the Mazda a, quote, intentional follower on EVs, projecting 25% or lower EV mix by 2030, while keeping 2027 development on track. So he said, quote, 2027 marks the 50th anniversary of our rotary engines. What do you want to see?
Ding, 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 ding. Everybody's been calling for this for a while. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that little nod at the end of a big interview has me thinking like that rotary engine might come back. And I'm telling you, if they pull it off the way that they've been talking about it for the last 7-8 years, that thing's going to run 50 miles to the gallon. And people are going to race toward it. It'll be wild. So we'll see if that happens in 2027. They've obviously taken the trend of following Toyota in their footsteps. There's a big partnership between Toyota Finance, as well as some manufacturing and production. And for brands that are leveraging hybrid at scale and have already won when it comes to gas mileage across the brand, that's why so many people are flocking. Not just that, but their Apple CarPlay integration and their tech integrations, even though they don't have these like massive screens, are just so seamless. They're so
You've been raving about that forever.
They're just so easy to use. And I think that that's a big reason for their jump. Not just that, but the design style is extremely savvy. I remember hearing, hey, we just went from 21,000 to 24,000 average transaction price, then the 24 to 27,000 average transaction price. Now you've got vehicles like the CX-90 competing with BMWs, Acuras, high market brands for a mid-market brand. It's really quite an incredible story over the last like 7-8 years. Ever since they really got out of the last legacy of the Ford relationship, Mazda has been challenging the market. To double your market share is quite insane. With no trucks.
And no large SUV.
No.
Period. Like the CX, what is the CX-90?
Yeah.
The biggest
one?
The
largest thing. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I mean,
And
I'm a fan.
Crossover.
I mean, we've kind of had a front row seat to watching the new Beaver Mazda in Cumming, Georgia, go up from dirt to where it is now, and even seeing firsthand the reaction of some of the Mazda brass and how the brand is developing and how it kind of is playing out in that store specifically. And man, I was never like really a Mazda follower or a Mazda fan just because lack of exposure, really. But man, I am now.
Come on now.
Speaking of being a fan,
segue
time. Yeah, it turns out the real power shoppers this year aren't actually influencers. They're everyday consumers dropping reviews at a record pace. Trustpilot, a massive review platform, reports a massive surge in review activity as buyers lean heavily on peer feedback before spending. Consumer reviews spiked 76% year over year, with nearly 4 million visitors participating in National Write a Review Week, a big push on writing reviews across a bunch of products. 86% of shoppers say they checked reviews before buying, and 40% waited specifically for others to post first. So there's like a real desire to watch the early adopters give you a nod on what to do. Here's the top complaints, though. Delivery delays, meaning Amazon has changed our expectations there.
Yeah, they
Tech
have.
issues, meaning our software providers have changed our expectations. And weak customer service. Holiday spending is tightening as well. 28% of Americans plan to cut back on decorations, and 26% will spend less on gifts. Wild.
I think that the increased participation in reviews also goes along with the increase across social media in general of people wanting to get their opinion out there. I think those two things are actually correlated. And so it makes a lot of sense to me that people are more, hey, I want you to know what I think. Isn't that the basis of social media?
Yep.
And so especially I want you to know what I think about a good thing and especially a bad thing. I think when you get good reviews and you can overcome the negative tendency of people to write negative things, I think it weighs heavy. And I know I can't think of one single person who shops online that doesn't rely heavily on reviews to make decisions. So I think this is just more par for the course. I think that companies making it easier and easier for people to leave reviews is an amazing thing. Like I can't imagine, like people are, where did I go last where they're like, please leave us a review. And they like made it so easy. There was a chiropractor that did it. And then there was one more. I can't remember what it was.
I mean, I like leaving reviews, especially when you get great customer service. Like that for me is the one that if the customer service, everything else could wane, but great customer service, that will win my review every single time.
Yeah, mentioning a person's name. It is kind of fun if you do the Google review thing and you add some photos. Like it's kind of fun too when you get the follow-up email like, hey, like 1,000 people have seen your thing. Even though it doesn't really track, but it's a little gamified too. Listen, it's Thursday. We got a lot. It's the 4th, December 4th, new month. We hope that your sentiment, wherever you are, your sentiment index is through the roof because it should be, because we're doing this thing together, caring about the people, selling some cars. We'll see you tomorrow.